Alrighty, so we're going to take a look here at problem number 21 from the week 2 homework. So this problem asks us to evaluate the expression if possible. If an answer is undefined, enter undefined. So a couple things here before we actually start going at this problem here. First off, understand guys, whenever you see this word evaluate, what that means is that you just want to go through and you want to perform all of the operations inside of whatever mathematical expression it is that you're looking at. All right, and if you don't have any variables, which in this case we don't, right? Usually those are expressed as letters, then your final answer should just be a single number value. All right? So this type of problem here, when you have a lot of different operations going on, right? We've got subtraction, we've got addition, we have exponents or powers, you have multiplication going on. What we need to do is we need to make sure we're doing everything in the right order. Specifically, the order of operations is what we're looking at here. All right, so I have our problem written down. All right, and this is one thing that some folks use to help you remember your order of operations, and that is just the word PEMDAS, all right, P-E-M-D-A-S, and basically it just reminds us that from left to right, we first want to take care of our parentheses, that's the P, exponents, that is E, multiplication, M, division, D, addition, A, and lastly is subtraction, S. All right, a couple of special notes here, guys. Your M and your D are actually on the same level. All right, you just want to make sure you perform those from left to right. And the same thing is true about your A and your S. Those are also on the same level. You just always do those from left to right. All right, so M and D, multiplication and division, those are equal, if you will. And A and S, addition and subtraction, those are also equal. You just always go from left to right. Okay, so where do we start off? According to PEMDAS, our order of operations says we need to start off with parentheses. So what you want to do is you want to find your innermost parentheses. All right, so in this case, our innermost parentheses, I'm just going to kind of put a purple box around it, is right here. This is our innermost parentheses. So basically, just start right here. Act as if there's nothing else in your problem, and this is all you have to do. All we need to do is 3 plus 2 squared. That is all. All right. Well, let's go ahead and take care of that. And once you're now looking inside of this innermost parentheses, you now want to start all over with your order of operations. Okay, so we start off with P. Is there any parentheses? Well, no, there can't be, right? We specifically chose our innermost parentheses, so there are not any parentheses. All right, well, in this innermost parentheses, are there any exponents? Yes, there are some exponents, so we know that that is what we need to do first. So I'm just going to go ahead and rewrite everything that we have here so far. Oh, and I almost forgot. Let's go ahead and write an equal sign here. And this just symbolizes that what we see in this line is going to be equal to what we write in this line. So we have 190 minus 2 times the quantity of 10 squared. 10 squared, or to the power of 2, minus the parentheses. So we said that we need to do our exponent, 2 to the second power. So guys, remember that exponents or powers, all right, what these tell us is how many times we are going to multiply the base, which is the larger number down below, how many times we're going to multiply the base to itself. So here we want to take 2 and multiply it to itself twice. So what is 2 times 2? 2 times 2 is 4. All right, and we still need to finish this up with a plus 49. All right, so remember that we're still working with this innermost parentheses. We'll put our purple box around it. All right, so there are now no longer parentheses in this innermost parenthesis. There are no longer exponents. There's no multiplication to be done. There is no division to be done. There is addition. So that is what would come next. We now need to add inside of that parentheses. So we have 190 minus 2 times the quantity, 10 squared minus. Now, one thing to realize here, guys, is that we are performing the last operation in this innermost parentheses. Anytime that you have performed the last operation inside of a set of parentheses, there is no longer a need for that set of parentheses. So we are ready to perform this last and final operation in our innermost set of parentheses. 3 plus 4 is 7. And we drop the parentheses because we have taken care of that innermost set of parentheses. And we still have plus 49 here at the end. Okay, so once you go ahead and you've taken care of part of your problem, you always want to go back to the very beginning of PEMDAS. And we want to start all over. All right, so we took care of that original innermost set of parentheses. Are there now any other sets of parentheses to take care of? And in this case, yes, there are. So we need to now take care of this next set of parentheses, which I'm going to put in this reddish or pinkish box. I'm not sure what color they're going for here. All right, and now that we're inside of our innermost set of parentheses, we know that there are no more parentheses inside. We're ready to move on to exponents. Are there any exponents or powers? And yes, there are. So that is what we need to take care of first. So remember, we're kind of ignoring everything else right now. It's still here, so we're still going to drag it along with us for each and every step. All right, but we're concentrated solely inside of this innermost parentheses. So inside here we have 10 squared minus 7, and from our order of operations we see that we need to do exponents first. So 10 squared, that tells us you need to take the number 10 and multiply it to itself twice. In other words, 10 times 10, that is 100. We still have minus 7. Yeah, we want to end our parentheses, and then plus 49 at the end. Make that a little longer. There we go. All right, so we still have our parentheses here, guys, so we still need to continue to work inside of that parentheses. Let's ignore everything else. All right, notice here all we have left is just that one operation of subtraction. So that is what we're going to take care of next. So we still have 190 minus 2. And this is one thing that I did neglect to mention at the very beginning, guys. Notice that there's nothing in between this 2 and this bracket, or this bracket style parenthesis. Right? If you do not see any operation connecting two expressions, you have to assume that that is multiplication. Sometimes you'll see people write a dot. Usually, although we have gotten used to seeing it as an X, you're usually not going to see that in an algebra class just because we use the X a lot for a variable later in the course. So we need to start getting used to just seeing two numbers or two expressions written side by side with nothing connecting them. That means that we're going to be multiplying. All right, so back down here, you're taking 2 times the quantity 100 minus 7. So here we are inside of this parentheses. We are going to perform the last operation, which is subtraction. So 100 minus 7, that is 93. And since that was the last operation in the parentheses or the bracket, we can drop the bracket. We don't need to carry it with us anymore. And then on the end, we still have plus 49. All right, we're kind of running out of room here. So we're going to come up here. Okay, so now here is what we are left with. So we come up here, are there any parentheses to take care of? No, we took care of both of our sets of parentheses. Moving on to exponents. Are there any exponents? Are there any numbers taken to powers? No, there are not. All right, so we move on to our next, which is multiplication or division. Is there any multiplication or division? And there is. We see that we have some multiplication. I'm going to go back to purple now. We have multiplication right here. All right, so we need to go ahead and perform that multiplication next, since it's next up in our order of operations. So we'll still have the 190 hanging out front, as it has been this whole time, and then we have minus, and we have 2 times 93. All right, so that's what we want to go ahead and perform next, is 2 times 93. Well, 90 and 90 is 180. 3 and 3 is 6. So that would be 186. 2 times 93 is 186. And then we still have the plus 49 hanging around. Okay, so we still need to evaluate what we have left here. We no longer have parentheses. We no longer have exponents. We no longer have multiplication or addition. We are now ready to perform our addition or subtraction. So remember, I put these in an orange box earlier because I was saying that they are on the same level. They're kind of equivalent in terms of their order of operation. So what do? Well, we do exactly what we've been doing for a long time. How do we read? We read from left to right. How do you perform your operations? You perform them to left to right as well. So you're only left with 2 operations, one subtraction and one addition. And since they're equivalent to one another, you just work from left to right. So this is going to be equal to 190 minus 186. Well, 190 minus 186 is going to be 4. Just to keep our formatting here, I want to put this into the purple box because this is what we have to do next. Since subtraction and addition are on the same level, you work from left to right. 190 minus 186 is 4, and we still have that plus 49 at the end. And then now we're just at our very final operation. So we just need to take 4 and add it to 49. So 49 plus 4 is going to be 53. And 53 should be your final answer.